than your athlete who's already out of shape and their first practice is 2 sets of 150. You know, it's like 150 meters, they're gassed, and then they got to go do it again, and it's like 20 meters into it, and they're just like, oh. You know, they're not even hitting. You're actually learning bad mechanics. Continue to do that, please, if you're my competition. I'm begging you. Please do it, as long as it works. No, I can't lie to you. So, I'm really good at this too, by the way, like talking without putting the slide up. Really good at that. So, short to long can be done in all aspects of training, technical skills, speed, velocity, force. And like it says here, it's the application of procedural memory development. Now, just like block periodization requires, doing this part-to-whole approach, short to long, allows for phase potentiation. Meaning what I did in the month of May allows the month of June to be better. You put those together, now the month of July is even better than it could be. Everything progresses naturally because one begets the next, begets the next. Another thing too is that typically speaking, the whole movement of most athletic endeavors is of faster nature than the part. So again, in my limited practice, I'm thinking of weightlifting and sprinting. Think about the fact that lifting a bar off the ground, catching it, that's going to be faster than just doing a partial lift. So if my athletes are not in shape as far as 100%, they're not competitively fit, I'm actually avoiding overtraining by limiting the forces and velocities that are exposed, that athlete's exposed to early on through segmental training. So I'm always thinking, again, this is programming. Now, this will probably come up tomorrow. This is a wordy slide. I'll try not to follow suit. But another aspect of this training theory is high to low, meaning I do a high intensity day followed by a low intensity day. I have one brain, one spinal cord, one nervous system. The nervous system is very slow to recover. Another thing is we try to define fatigue, and we try to think that fatigue is, oh, it's muscular, or it's neurological. Well, there are metabolic fatigues and parasympathetic, sympathetic fatigue, and neural fatigue, yes. But when it comes to high-intensity training, you do need to let the neuromuscular region recover before you do something of high volition the next day. Number one, the motor cortex cannot fire at maximum 24 hours post maximum effort. So the brain is not even going to send that signal as fast as it did yesterday if you try to do back-to-back high-intensity sessions. So the athlete's not going to get the velocities out. They're not going to be able to think as fast. If you put them in a situation where you're trying to learn a new defense or an offensive scheme, and the point guard's supposed to be going over here, but they're stuck right here, and you're like, why did you not move? Well, it's probably because they're not firing fast enough because they're fatigued from the day before. So you have to have an ebb and flow to this, a high and low. Other things is that the nerve runs on salt potassium. So salt and potassium flows through the nerve cell. We'll talk about it tomorrow. That is slower. So conduction velocities are slower. There's actually damage to the axon terminal, the little legs of a nerve that touch the muscle. Those are damaged during fatigue and contractions. Then you've got the muscle cell itself that's actually a protein that will actually dissolve and break up, and so you have that's damaged. So it's not even going to take that message and relay it into a physical contraction as fast. So a lot of coaches want to do high intensity every day. Move, 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 move. Let's be, just build hard. Let's be tough. You're just crushing your athletes.
Yes, we are doing this.
Yeah, you've got to be smart. Trust me, it's something that we all want to do. We want to see our athletes sweat. We want to see them hurt, because we hurt, didn't we? And it's like not fair if they have it easy. You know, but that's not smart. We want to build winners. And sometimes that means that we allow recovery. And so this is asking you to do a high-low system, to allow the nervous system to recover and repair so the next day you can get those velocities and those thoughts to happen fast. And I have down here some research you can look at your own. I put the author, the year, and just the findings. That people, then programs that actually combine strength and speed training in one day have better results than people who try to do speed and strength, and speed and strength. And also the fact that it takes sometimes 72 hours to recover and come back to your maximum strength capacity following a training program or a training regimen. So again, give your athletes recovery after a high intensity day.
I also race bicycles. I find that if I take a day off every other day, like if I train tomorrow, sorry today, and I rest tomorrow and I train the next day, I feel actually much stronger. That way,
yeah, exactly. And the thing too is what I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm not even saying you have to take the day off. I'm saying give your nervous system a break. Don't make it think. Don't make it react. So what we do is we do something called extensive tempo. And this is where a lot of power strength athletes will fight and they'll be like, I'm not doing anything that looks aerobic because I don't want to be slow twitch. And I'm like, you're not going to be slow twitch. You're not going to be slow twitch. And we prove it to them. I have $50,000 force plates in my weight room that proves to them that they're not slow, that they're not weak, because they do something that's aerobic restorative. We're just restoring blood flow. You know, and it's actually, we'll get into in a minute, allowing them to think they feel better. So it's actually therapy without having to go into the sports medicine. Kind of cool. Now, one thing I feel like is important to mention is how to structure a high session. And there's an article, I think, back in 03 or 04, Kathy Sellers, who wrote this when she was the manager of coaching education. She wrote a nice little paper in the USOC coaching magazine about how to structure a practice. This follows suit, maybe just expands a little bit, but that's a really good thing. And you can go on our website and download all those previous PDFs. There's a lot of good stuff in those. Any high intensity session, in high meaning anything that's stimulating the nervous system. You always start off with the general warm-up. So what we're trying to do here is to promote heat production in the body, increase